All right. Now let's get started with tier-based enrichment, the smart way to scale ABM without burning a lot of credits. Okay. When I use the term credit here, it is HubSpot credit for this for the record, but I'm pretty sure you must be using other credits like ChatGPT and Claude and others. Whatever you're using, even those will cost you credit for the most part. So this principle, in principle, you can follow these frameworks to ensure that whatever credit you are burning, enriching the contacts and the company and other details within the CRM, you do it in a framework, you do it with a methodology, you do it with a process. So there should be a method behind the madness, right? We have seen companies with 200,000 records, just running AI and losing a lot of credit in that, losing a lot of money in that. So I think that is what we need to prevent. And that is what this series is all about. Okay, so for everybody who do not know me yet, my name is Ritesh Osta. I'm the founder of InsightTap. And I'm also one of the top rated Fiverr Pro in multiple categories, including ABM, AI, GTM engineering, and paid ads, and many more. So, do follow me on LinkedIn. Please do subscribe to this particular channel. This is my company's channel. We post a lot of very informative content. So if you are interested in AI, GTM engineering, and ABM for B2B, you are at the right place. Please do subscribe. We have a lot of content with us. Okay. All right. Let's move forward. The ABM scaling problem. Okay. The account based. So the ABM stands for account based marketing. We work with some of the clients who have got 1 million records in their CRM, HubSpot, Salesforce, more than million as well. We work with those clients as well. Imagine, updating, enriching 1 million record or 10 million record. Imagine that, the amount of effort that will be needed, and also you have to spend a lot of money, something which is not necessarily needed for many part. And people especially in the enterprise right now, they don't understand how to proceed. Okay, they understand, okay, fine, they need to enrich their CRM with AI, they need to update their contacts, they need to do a lead scoring, AI-based leads. They understand all of it in principle, but when it comes to execution, there are a lot of roadblocks. Right? Who's going to take the ownership of the money? How much money needs to be spent? Okay, is this a good use of the money? What is the ROI which is going to come up if you spend all of that? That kind of questions comes from the finance, right? And typically, particularly, the teams do not have a very good answer because the team are disjointed. Marketing team, they have their own goals. Sales team, they have their own goals. They are disjointed, and nobody really knows how to move ahead with these things. And that is why the companies, they come down to people like us. And in these webinar, what I'm sharing is, in principle, I'm sharing the process that we follow. Okay, this can be broken down and used in your specific cases as well. If you want more inputs, of course, you can reach out to us. But I'm just laying down the very principle that we follow for our customers and for ourselves, so that you can use these processes, frameworks, and principles in your case as well. Okay, the ABM scaling problem. When the ABM scales, when you're dealing with 10 clients or 100 clients, it's easy, right? You can do a lot of stuff manually all by yourself. But then you're dealing with 1,000 clients or 10,000 clients, then that is where things becomes little problematic, right? Enrichment volume explodes. Which one to enrich, which one not to enrich. AI drafting increases, the AI usage increases, intent tracking expands, right? More intent needs to be tracked. SDR workload rises. Okay, SDR cannot just sit and just do things manually whole day, every day. You have to do other important things as well, right? And if you're going to just automate this without thinking through, then you're going to spend a lot of money, which may not lead to more pipeline. Okay, and somebody needs to be answerable for the money that is being spent. Okay, HubSpot has released what it's called as HubSpot credits. So the more credit you use, the more money you have to pay HubSpot. HubSpot is happy as long as you're spending money, they are happy. But you are not the one who will be very happy spending a lot of money without a good result, right? And that is where these principles plays a very important role. Okay, so this is the ABM scaling problem. More accounts means more enrichment. More enrichment means more credit burns. and more credit burn can lead to uncertain ROI. This is a problem. This is a problem statement. Okay, I can enrich, I can burn the credit. Wow, what result will I get? If you don't have a very clear answer about this question, then you need this framework, right? Okay. So next up, why one size fits all fails? Traditional model, what I've seen in many enterprises, even now, what I'm seeing is, they are enriching every contact that is coming up, every lead that is coming up goes through the same workflow, same automation, every account, the same follow-up. This is what I have seen. Okay, and this kills efficiency, and also this kills credits and money and burns the money. You cannot just use one size fit all for everything that is coming up into your CRM. And this is where a very structured process and a structured framework is super important for enterprise. Okay, so whether it is lead A, B, C, same treatment. This is where many of the ABM enterprises fail. Lead A, lead B, lead C, maybe three different leads from three different sources with three different requirements, with three different intent, with three different quality. Okay, so but then if you're going to sit and do things manually, in terms of what I just said, it's going to take forever. Just with the three leads. Imagine you are dealing with 3,000 leads, right? So this is where the complexity comes in, and this is where the AI can play a very important role, right? So introducing tier-based enrichment. So if you are not aware of, let me put that in context. HubSpot has ABM feature. That means you can put companies and contacts in tier 1, 2, 3. You can add more tiers as well, but there are generally three tiers by default. So I'm going to stick to these default three tiers. Okay. So you can customize tier based on whatever your requirement is. For example, you can customize tires based on geography, right? Certain geographies tier 1, so other geographies tier 2, and next. You can do it based on industry, certain industries tier 1. Okay. You can do it in company size, big companies tier 1, small companies tier 2, and like so. How you're going to use this framework within HubSpot for ABM is totally up to you. And this is where the planning is required. This is where the strategy is required. What we propose from InsightTap, what we do is we set up the tier based on intent. Right? If there are more intent, the higher the tier, the less intent, the lower it. And which makes sense, correct? You want to deal with leads which has more intent as compared to the lead who are just big companies, with no intent, right? So what we have understood is it's always good to set up a tier based on intent. In that case, you only deal with the leads with the highest tier first, with the highest intent, okay, and which matches the ICP. So tier 1 is high intent, which matches the ICP. Tier 2 is warm intent, which is emerging, and tier 3 is low intent. Okay, so it does not fit the ICP, it does not have intent. And this is how we suggest our customers to put the tier-based model. That's the first important key on how to plan things. Second step, tier-based enrichment. Okay, tier 1 means more money, more intent, best match ICP, tier 2, and then tier 3. All right. That's the first thing. So first, when you create a plan of execution, the first thing that we look into is what are the tiers? There are three tiers generally, and what are we going to do about those tiers? How are we going to plan that who belongs to which tier, right? And we always start with ICP match and intent. Okay, and then as the next step, we go with lead scoring or signal scoring, what we call it. Not just lead scoring, it's signal scoring. It's a little different. So signal scoring is how many intent signals have come. For example, they have visited the website, they have checked the pricing page, they have posted a job, they engaged with your outbound email. There are different signals coming up, And every time they engage with your content or with your assets, or they take certain action, a certain events is fired, and then your signal scores increases, right? You keep increasing the lead score. Once it matches or crosses certain score, then we also check with ICP match as a next step. Okay, whether it matches the ICP. If it matches the ICP, that means it belongs to tier. Okay, and then there are other signals like pricing page intent spike in detected decision maker role and all of that, right? You can add more and more on that. So you need to put up the criteria first. So for tier one, these are my criteria. If you're a SaaS company, product company, you know how important it is for pricing page engagement, right? If somebody is coming up, engaging with your pricing page, leaving, but then that person matches the ICP, the signal score is greater than 70, the intent spike is there, the decision maker role is there, good. Push that into tier one, right? I just give you an example. So tier one means then you can go ahead as a next step, do a full enrichment. Find out more about the person, the company, the size of the company, the revenue, the forecast, everything in between. Find out more and then do full enrichment. You can use HubSpot credit, you can use other API based credit system, whatever you are going to use, you activate the AI, you enrich. All right. So that is a very simple way of determining who belongs to tier. Okay. Then the same process follows with tier 2. Okay, I'm going to come down to tier 2. Tier 1 is high signal ICP, tier 1 full enrichment. Simple. Tier 2 is signal score, say 41 to 69. I mean, this is just a given number here. It does not need to be this. This is where the planning and strategy comes into the picture. The content needs to be engaged, early stage research. Okay, so what we call as top of the funnel leads, right? They are just doing early stage research. They are finding more about you. They are a startup. They may not be exact ICP match, or maybe they are ICP match, but they are just on the research stage. Good, right? Then you put them into tier 2. Okay, you do partial enrichment. You don't have to know everything about them. Do partial enrichment and put them into nurturing sequences, nurturing work, and monitor them and how they are engaging with your nurturing sequences, right? And workflows. So moderate signal, tier 2, partial enrichment. That means you save HubSpot credits in doing that. You don't enrich everything. You don't have to find out everything about these ICPs, these leads. That means you save money in the process. Then tier 3. Tier 3 is low signal score. There's not much signal score going on. No ICP match. It's not matching the ICP. Single page visit, not much going on. So no investment. Don't spend money and credit on these. Right? So no AI spend, no credit spend, no SDR assignment. So do not assign it to SDR, assign it to sequences and workflows. Okay, and keep the engagement what do you say, low in many ways, right? Okay. Low signal, tier 3, no spend. Do not spend a lot of money on this. Okay, so by this account, I've already demonstrated on how you can define 3 different tiers. Okay, and then work on this tier, and then based on the tier defined, it will also have a process on whether it's going to be assigned to AE and SDRs or BDRs, how they're going to engage with them. Is there going to be personal level outreach which is going to happen? All of that process needs to be done in the back end. All right. So this is the tier assignment workflow. Signal score calculated, evaluate the ICP match, assign the credit usage tier. Okay, so we talked about this framework in our previous webinars, and then trigger tier specific workflow. Okay, so you create tier specific workflow, right? And also check the credit usage belonging to that particular tier. Okay, so there needs to be different workflow, and there is the credit governance that needs to happen in terms of whether you are allowed to use the credit or not. And I'll talk about the credit governance in one of the previous webinars. You can go and check that out. The tier assignment workflow is signal score, ICP check, tier assignment. Okay, this is how the workflow is going to be working. Signal score, ICP check, then assign the tier. And then based on the assignment of tier, the next set of actions will start. Okay, for example, contact enrichment, company enrichment, assigning to the SDR, follow a process, and like so on. Enrichment logic by tier. Okay, this is a typical enrichment logic by type. Okay, what do we enrich? Once we are sure that, okay, fine, these contacts and companies belong to tier 1, 2, and 3, then the next obvious question that will come from your end will be, hey, what do I need to enrich? Very good question. And these are the typical ones. Okay, of course, it depends company to company, industry to industry. These are the typical ones. For tier 1, revenue, what is the revenue of the company, employee size, tech stack, decision makers, phone numbers they want to call, right? Or email address, validation, and more. Okay, whether they got a M&A funding, you can add more. That is where the planning and the strategy comes into the picture. Tier 2 is industry, employee size, website validation. Okay, whether their website matches the kind of ICP that we want to do. Okay, we can do website validation in tier 1 as well. That means you go to their website, go analyze their website using AI, and see whether they belong to the right kind of target audience that you want to reach out to. Makes sense? Whether they belong to the ICP. And tier 3 is no enrichment. Just don't do enrichment. Don't spend money on that. Okay, just put them into a workflow or a sequence. Just do formal follow up. Tier 1 deep data, tier 2 basic data, tier 3 don't enrich. So simple principle we follow, it works really well. Now, this is typically how we see the impact of this process. Before the tier model, 8,000 enrichments per month. After tier model, we have seen only 3,000 enrichments per month. Same pipeline, lower spend. Okay, the output is same, but the spend is much lower. And that's the goal, right? Okay, old versus new. And we have done those testings for multiple clients and we have saved a lot of money in the process. And it really works. It's not just about saving money, also, it's also about creating more efficient processes because you don't want your SDR and BDR to just be busy whole day and then your pipeline not growing, right? So it's not just about saving money, it's also about creating the right kind of infrastructure for your sales team to succeed. So then the next level is once the investment happens, the next level is the sales activation. What do we need to do? Okay, in terms of process with respect to tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. Okay, the enrichment has happened, the ICP has been masked, the enrichment has happened. Now, what's next? You go ahead and create a workflow, create an immediate SDR task, assign it to SDR, create a Slack alert, create an AI summary of the account or the lead, assign it to a particular sequence, quick sequence, and then do enrollment to certain workflows. Okay, that is what general activity of tier 1 is. Tier 2 is just put them into a workflow for nurturing campaign, like educational campaign, monitor signal changes, and then keep monitoring it. Tier 3, passive marketing only, maybe push them into newsletter, and then send a newsletter once a month. That's pretty much it. All right. Simple. If you follow this simple process, life will be easy. Okay. Before you go ahead and do complicated, try to achieve the simple and then move on from there. Many of the customers, they come to us and then they just want, hey, I want to revamp everything. I want to just become the modern company. It doesn't work like that. You got to do the basics first. Once the basics is in place, when the data is cleaned up, the systems are in place, the processes are in place, then you go to the next level. It takes a little bit of time. Sometimes it takes months or even years. It's worth it, right? 10 years of confusion was there. Now you want everything to change in 2 weeks. It doesn't work. Maybe it'll take another 1 year. That spending that 1 year is much better than another 10 years of confusion. That is what my suggestion is to many companies that when they come to us. Okay, all right. So tier 1 means act now, tier 2 means nurture, tier 3 does not mean ignore, it also means passive nurturing. Okay, I think that's a better word to use. Measuring tier performance. How do you measure the tier performance? Tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, we talked about it. SQL rate by time. How many SQLs are creating? What is the conversion rate by time? Right? What is the credit used by time? What is the pipeline value by time? These are all the KPIs that you can set. Revenue pattern. I mean, I suggest not to immediately jump into revenue. The sales management process always says first look at the activity, then look at the output. Many of the businesses, they are more inclined towards, just look at the output. What is the revenue? What is the, you know, where to first check the activity and then, look at the output. So the activity first, SQL rate, conversion rate, credit used, pipeline value. Then you look at the revenue, whether the revenue is actually being generated per tier one. Okay. The tier one is continuously generating more of SQL rate and conversion rate and credit and pipeline and revenue as compared to other tier. That means you are at the right direction. Or else there's something wrong with the entire planning and strategy. Okay, so this is how it should ideally look like. Tier 1, 80% SQL, Tier 2, 6% SQL, Tier 3, 1% SQL. Now, these are the common mistakes typically at the time of planning comes in. Too many accounts in Tier 1. Okay, everything moves into Tier 1. That's a problem. Okay, no negative scoring. There needs to be negative scoring. Right? Static tile logic. The logic is very static. Oh, do this, do that, do this, do that. No, use some AI and use some intelligent logic there. It can be done. This is not a technical session. It can be certainly done. No monthly tire review. Tire review needs to be done on a monthly basis from the sales management point of view. And AI is not created by tire. AI needs to be created. Okay, credit needs to be created. Not everybody is supposed to use the credit. Okay, that's the whole point. Over-tiring means overspend. Remember that. So generally, we suggest our customer to keep 3 tires. If you have got 10 tires, then more confusion, more work, more spending. Okay, so keep the tire low, or keep it simple. Okay, 3 is generally enough for most of the cases, but sometimes you need to have more, and that we totally understand that. So this is the implementation roadmap that we should follow, and don't worry about the timeline. This is just for the demonstration purpose. Okay, there needs to be milestone-based approach. Define the signal threshold. What signal is more important to you? Website visitor, job changes, hiring change, M&A acquisition. Whatever is the signal which is more important to you, just put that. Create tire properties. Okay, create the tire, activate the ABM in HubSpot. Build gated enrichment workflows. This is where a lot of work goes into this, and it takes more than 1 week, trust me. And add activation rules. Okay, that means once everything is done, how you're going to activate it, assign it to the SDR, and then build tire dashboard. The final step is, of course, to create reports and dashboards, right, to monitor everything. So define, assign, gate, activate, and then measure. That's the simple framework that we follow. Okay, in terms of implementation. Okay, so these are the key takeaways. ABM doesn't always scale by enriching more, it scales by enriching smarter. And tier-based enrichment turns budget into precision. So precision ABM is what we always try to achieve. And this session is part of that. I hope that you like this session. We intend to create more content on this subject. Please do write down in the comment section if you have any questions. If you want more content like this, write down in the comment section. We'll add more. Please do like the video if you have liked it. Let us know how it has helped you, and let us know how we can improve these content. We intend to create more such content in the coming days. Please do subscribe to our channel. Please like us and follow us on LinkedIn, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.